Hey guys, this is Nikki Cloud. I'm a diamond leader with doTERRA International, and today I'm going to be talking about having the right tools and equipment to build a successful business. So grab a piece of paper and a pen, and let's just jump into this and get started. I love my job. It challenges me, it motivates me, it inspires me, and I really feel like I am fulfilling my life's purpose. And not just that, but it's extremely satisfying to see that what I'm building is actually successful. When I first had my oil experience several years ago with the oils, the very first thing that I thought of was how cool would it be to teach people about essential oils? Because I knew everybody in my inner circle, nobody knew about them. And I saw how effective they were. And I noticed that every single oil worked. It actually did something. And so I was really eager to learn more about what essential oils were. And what I learned was extremely fascinating. And I knew that if most homes, if most people, if most mom and dads really understood what essential oils were, that they would want them in their home every single month and that they would probably use them on a daily and consistent basis. So what I did when I decided to do this as a business, of course, I did my research. I looked into essential oils. I compared why doTERRA was far superior. I learned about the company, the owners, and I spent a lot of time understanding the compensation plan because that gave me insight to how I was going to be paid. So that allowed me to really figure out how I was going to work. So once I did all of that, I sat down and I wrote out a blueprint. And obviously, I had an end goal in mind that allowed me to create that blueprint, but it was almost like building a house. So I kind of want you guys to try that analogy on and kind of just envision your doTERRA business as building your dream home. So my dream for doing doTERRA, and the reason why I decided to do this was because I wanted to create an oil expert in every single home. That was my goal. I wasn't thinking business. I wasn't thinking rank. I wasn't thinking how many builders can I find. I was simply thinking, how cool would it be to go teach every single person what essential oils are and have them use them on a regular basis. And so I based my blueprint off of my end goal. And my blueprint really allowed me to identify the equipment and the tools that were going to be necessary for me to build this. So I'm going to pause for a second, and I just want you guys to know I have no experience in sales or in network marketing of any kind. In fact, my previous life, all my education and my what I did for work was in the nonprofit sector. I worked with victims of crime. So this was completely new, but I knew that in order for me to be comfortable in sharing and enrolling, that I had to come from a place of education and caring. So let's jump into this, and I'm going to share with you guys what I do and the system that I use in teaching people how to become an oil expert. So first, what tools do you have in your toolbox? Okay, and first let me ask you, do you have an end goal in mind when it comes to doTERRA? Like, what is it that you're building with it? When you decided to do this, what was the driving force? So I want you to write this down. And I'll just be completely frank with you. If obviously you're doing this because you care about people. So the bonus to that is if you do this business right, you will make a lot of money. And so I'm going to be honest and say the only right way to view this company and this business is to really create an oil expert in every person that you meet. So how do you do that? How do you work with people that come before you? How do you teach people? What tools do you use? So I want you to write down your end goal overall goal is to create an oil expert in every single home. Okay, yeah, you might have other goals. You might have monetary goals or rank goals, because I understand a lot of people do, but you're not going to achieve any of that unless you create an oil expert in every single home, right? So it is super important. And in fact, I want you to think of your doTERRA business as building your dream house. Okay. Now I want you to think about everything that it's going to take for you to build that dream house. Okay. It kind of changes your mentality a little bit. It makes you view this a little bit differently. And that's good, because I want you to see this for really what it is. There's no such thing to build a doTERRA business or any business overnight or over a few months or even over a year. It takes a lot of time, but it takes finding the right tools to do it. So here's a peek inside of my toolbox. Okay, so these are the tools that I use. I have used these from the very beginning because it's simple and it really it allows me the progress, the success that I want to see. So I always have a set of listening ears on. I have oils. I don't necessarily have all my oils and products with me, but I always have oils with me. I always utilize the wellness consultation forms and the Modern Essentials books. So why is it that I keep it this simple? If I have a set of listening ears on, I'm able to uncover their problems. People love to discuss their issues and their problems. Okay, so if I'm sitting down and I'm rambling off all of the oils and what they do, and I'm just blabbering on and on and on, and I'm having them smell all the oils and try all the oils, I'm not taking the opportunity to really get to know the person in front of me and get to know their needs, their pains, their problems. Okay. Now imagine if I have a set of listening ears on and I sit down with somebody and I say, hey, what's going on with you? If you can make 3 changes in your health, what would they be? If you have, what are your top 3 health goals right now in your life? I'm not even talking about oils yet. You notice I want to get to know them. By asking questions, they're going to give you a response. And in that response is where you're going to know how to lead and guide and work with this person to direct them to the oils that are necessary for them to use. Okay, I have my oils on me because I want to give them an experience. I know that if somebody tries a tiny bit of peppermint in their mouth, I know that they are going to be 10 times more receptive to listening to me anymore. I use the wellness consultation forms because it allows them to admit they have health goals and problems. How many times have you taught a class and people just seem closed off and they think because they don't have a serious disease that they don't need to be preventative and they don't need oils for relief? Okay, all the stinking time. And it's so crazy because it's those people afterwards that are like, wow, yeah, I have migraines every day. Well, they just become, they become complacent. They get used to those minor daily struggles because there's something that they've been struggling with for a very long time. I'm able to bring awareness and say, hey, yeah, that's not normal. Let me recommend these oils, and why don't you pick up the Modern Essentials book and turn to that page and learn more about what that oil can do for those migraines. Okay, you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make them drink. A part of my, let's call it building phase number 1, when I first started building this business, I rarely use the Modern Essentials book. So I encouraged people to buy it, and they did. But every time somebody said, hey, what oil should I use for this? Or what helps with this? I always just spat out the answer. And what that did was it almost caused me to change my phone number. No joke. My phone did not stop ringing for probably a year and a half, and I'm not exaggerating at the least. I can't tell you, I'm sure one of you that's listening has probably grabbed my phone and has turned it off for 24 hours for me, because what I did was I enabled people to ask me because I looked like the resource when I taught classes. So now when somebody says, hey, what oil helps with pain relief? I hand them the Modern Essentials book and I say, look it up. You think they're going to ever ask me a question again? Not unless they can't find it. But they know now that that book is their resource and I am just their guide. Okay, you guys, that's all I use to build my business right there. Do you know how economical and simple that is? And do you know that everybody can duplicate and do that? It's really easy. My monthly budget for building this business is pennies compared to it's pennies. I probably spend a few $100s a month in materials and oils. And I make, I make really good money doing what I do. So let me ask you, do you ever stop and measure your success? So I want you to stop for a second. I want you to think and just be honest with yourself. Are you progressing? Do you see your business building? Okay, when you're building a house, you can usually slowly see the progress unfold week after week. Okay, it's no different in your doTERRA business. If you're not seeing your business unfold before your eyes, then you're doing something completely wrong. And there's nothing that nobody could do to really fix that unless you're willing to listen and do the work. Okay, so do you stop and measure your success every week? Every week I stop and I say, okay, I look at all the different categories of what I do in my business and I say, okay, how did my contacts go? Well, why did I bomb? Why did I bomb on contacts? Well, maybe I should do this different. How did my classes go? My classes were actually great. I got a ton of enrollments. All right, I'm gonna keep doing that because that worked. How did my mentoring go with people? Are people actually following through with what we talk about on the phone? No. Okay, well, am I mentoring the right people? Are these people ready for success? Are they ready to do what they need to do to be successful? Some yes, some no. Okay. Every week I stop and I measure what I'm doing because guess what? Next week, I want to make sure that I'm doing what's working and working smart. So if you've been doing doTERRA longer than 3 months and you're just not seeing this unfold like it should, then you're doing something wrong, and that's okay. In fact, I want you to embrace failure and become friends with it because you do not learn how to be a contractor and build a house overnight. So give yourself a break and do not punish yourself for not being able to throw this thing together in just a few months. It takes time. And honestly, every week I learn, well, that didn't quite work. And so I fine tune it and I do it better next week. So be okay with this. So just a few tips for you. Measure weekly and don't be afraid to change. So think of it this way. When you go on a diet and you weigh in every week, if the scale doesn't drop, and this is a bad analogy because I don't want you to associate health with a number because that's just dumb. But let's just say you're trying to drop 10 pounds. If you weigh in and you gain 2 pounds, are you going to continue doing what you did? Probably not, because that's an indicator that it wasn't working. So when you look at your back office every week or every month and you don't advance and you're not enrolling people and people in your downline aren't doing anything, then that's your indicator that what you're doing isn't working. Okay? So what do you want to build? And I'm just going to be honest and frank with you. If you want to be successful in this company, your mentality needs to be to create an oil expert in every home. Okay. You might have other things that you want to build with this, but this needs to be your focal point. doTERRA pays you based on what people buy on a monthly basis. So if you're just running around teaching people about oils, giving samples, not enrolling people, and nobody in your organization is doing anything, then you're not making any money. Okay. So obviously, number one, you're doing this because you care and you feel passionate about doing this. I don't know people that do this that hate people and don't want to help people. So you're doing this for the right reason, but what is the focal point? What is the focal point? Because I can guarantee that focal point is going to dictate how you show up every day. So if you're thinking about rank and making money, you're probably not rank advancing or making any money right now. Okay, but if your focal point is creating an oil expert in every home, then we know what you want to build and we're able to determine the right tools for you to get there. Okay, so this is my dream house. It's a cottage overlooking the ocean. And do you think that I could build that overnight? Absolutely not. Do you think that it's going to take different tools and equipment and subcontractors to come in and do the job? Absolutely. It's probably going to take some time to save, and just it's gonna take a whole lot of time for me to build up my dream house. Okay, your doTERRA business is no different. No different. So let's look at this. What is your blueprint? What will you need to build an oil expert in every home? Okay, so this is what I did. This was my blueprint. So here it is. Number one, education and training. I needed to be educated. I needed to know about doTERRA. I didn't need to know everything. I spent just probably 3 or 4 days. I actually got my laptop, got in bed as soon as I decided to do this, and wrote out what I needed to know to start the next day. And so I only knew just a very little bit, but I knew enough. Okay, so training. This is training right here. I'm training you guys right here. Doing this stuff on a daily, weekly basis is going to help improve your leadership and really your awareness in being successful. Okay, leaders that learn how to be leaders are successful. Leaders that read books, leaders that lead are successful. So do you spend time educating and training yourself? 2, an easy way to teach everyone the same thing. So whether I'm teaching an oil class or I'm making a contact at a business, guess what? I'm going to introduce them to essential oils the same exact way. I'm going to teach them what essential oils are in less than 30 seconds, and they're going to fully understand it. Okay, so I have a way of explaining what oils are that a 5-year-old could get it. And that is necessary in order to get my end result. Okay, 3, I have intro to oil presentation pads and the wellness consultation forms. Those are the 2 forms that I use to teach people about oils in classes. I have resources for them to learn. I use only the Modern Essentials book. I don't use any other book, just this book. I buy bulk. I sell it for what I buy it for. I don't make a profit. There's no need to. It's a necessary resource for them to become an oil expert. 5, I have a system which provides everyone fail-proof tools to learn, grow, and duplicate. Do you have these things? Do you have these things, and are they working in your business? Again, stop and measure. It's a simple answer. I know what leaders of mine have this and which ones don't based on how they're advancing. Okay, let's look at building. This is how I decided to build my business. I was going to invite people to my classes. Okay, so I had about 3 classes a week. And at that time, I was working full time. I don't have kids. I didn't have kids then, but I was working a good 50 hours a week. And my job was not an easy job, but I managed to have about 3 classes a week, whether I was having them or somebody else was having them, but I was teaching. I would make 5 to 10 contacts a week. So I would go out and introduce myself and say, hey, this is what I do. I teach free educational classes. I'm having one at this place, time and location. And this is where you can find me the next month. Here's a month of my classes. I would love for you to come. Can I get your phone number, your email address, and remind you of these? Okay, that's how I made contacts to get them to my classes. It was important to teach a simple class. Essential oils are overwhelming and people do not understand them. So I had to teach a simple class in order for it to make sense to every single person in front of me. Okay, my classes are 30 minutes long and they're very simple. I invite people to enroll. I invite them to enroll in a natural and healthy way to prevent and restore their health. I follow up when I enroll people, and I repeat this. At the end of my week, I evaluate what worked and where I can make building improvements. Does your system do this? Does your system turn your contacts into oil experts? Are you able to turn 50% of those people into builders or sharers? Can you ensure they have proper tools to see success? Does your system and approach attract the right people for you to get to your end result? Now, this last one is important for you guys. I want you to stop and think about that. I realize the way I build my business isn't going to necessarily be the way that other people want to build their business. That's okay. But it just means that we don't have the same end in mind, which means that chances are they're not going to be a successful builder. And that's okay. That is totally okay. But I'm very aware that my system and my approach isn't going to work for everybody. There's so many people that think money-minded that cannot stop and see that this business really just isn't for every single person. Okay, because not every single person is going to stop and take the 20 minutes to watch this webinar and learn how to create a blueprint and a system. That's just way too difficult and complicated for them. They think that they can just go out and enroll people and they're just going to figure it out. So understand that your system, it's okay if it doesn't attract everybody, but it's going to attract the people, the right people that also have the same end goal, that want to build what you want to build. So this is my Jumpstart guide. Okay, so I've created a really simple system to help people learn how to do what I do. Okay, and what I love about this is it's hands-free for me. I teach everybody the same way. And so this has allowed me just to send people the information. People contact me all the time and want to build this business with me. And I can't necessarily jump in the car and travel 2 days to sit down and teach somebody the business. And that's not necessary. That's not necessary to do because of all the resource that doTERRA has today. So what I've done is I have created a Jumpstart program that it is my business formula for being successful. It's simple, and it's amazing to see that people that have just started in this company have been able to teach classes, enroll people, and start building in a matter of days after going through this Jumpstart guide. It comes with 6 assignments, and those assignments are for you to do. It's actually like a home-based program, like putting yourself through homeschool to learn how to be successful in doTERRA. If you have questions or you want to see if you're kind of on the right track with what you're thinking, send me an email and I'll totally help. I'll just guide you and say, yeah, you know, what you're thinking is really good, or hey, maybe think of it kind of this way. Those of us that have found success in doTERRA are those that you should really learn from. So it's amazing to me to see how many systems are in place and very few people really take advantage of the right tools to be successful. They almost want to recreate the wheel and figure something out that's way more easy or simplistic, but what they're trying to do is attract the wrong people and dumbing down how to be successful. So this system it's crazy. It's crazy for me to see that people that I've never sat down with and helped or taught a class to or even sat down and discussed business with have taken this system and they're building their business completely 100% independently on their own. I am just a check-in once a week to measure if their success is going the right way. So this is available for free to every single person in my organization. You can email me here at sharedoterra@hotmail.com. The subject, go ahead and put the Jumpstart program. Please provide me with your IPC number so I can confirm that you are a part of my team. I am in the process of having the material, copywriting all the material and having it trademarked. This will be available to purchase for people outside of my organization in the next 2 months. And hopefully we'll have it in a few different places where you buy your business material, so you can purchase it there as well. So thank you for being a part of this webinar. And I want you guys to really stop and ask yourself what it is that you are using to build your business with. What is in your toolbox? And sit down, write out your blueprint today, make the necessary changes. That way tomorrow you're equipped to build smart. That way in a week when you measure your work, you can see the success unfolding. And that way in a few months you're reaching your goals and you're actually seeing this thing build before your eyes. All right, guys, well, take care. Good luck. I believe in you. And I will be talking to you all soon. Bye now.